In the 2050s, humans will fight a losing war against a vicious race of aliens. To replenish lost soldiers, the last of the humans must go back in time 30 years to draft ordinary people to continue the fight. A teacher gets drafted only to discover that he faces challenges from all fronts. Hey everyone, I am your host, Mark Rubalcaba, for Mr. Abel Pineda and Mr. Jose Rodriguez. Today we are reviewing The Tomorrow War.
Ooh.
What do you think, Mr. Pineda, so far?
So far, I liked it. I mean, I like to see Chris Pratt in something other than his, Guardians of the Galaxy role and Jurassic World role. So it's good to see him in something else.
Well, I never saw him in Parks and Rec, so I never saw the first Chris Pratt.
It was good. It was fun. I forgot about that because of his newfound success.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I thought it was enjoyable. Also, it was a fun romp. But you saw it too, Mr. Jose. Correct?
I did. Yeah. I liked it. I liked that it wasn't his usual goofy self that he's always casted as.
Oh yeah.
So it was nice to see him outside of that.
Yeah, it was definitely weird to see him as a parent too. It was.
You know what I was kind of thinking? You remember Sam Worthington?
Yes, very Sam Worthington, right?
He. If only James Cameron knew about Chris Pratt before he knew about Sam Worthington.
Yeah, I think that was a chair. Was not me.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was.
You know what? I agree. I think Chris Pratt is the American Sam Worthington, dude.
Yeah, he didn't know who he was until
breaking news.
But yeah, it was a fun movie. Watching it though, I just have a couple of things where I feel like it had a bit of a first draft syndrome because there were some unanswered questions in it.
You know what? That's exactly how I felt about this movie.
I don't know why they had to send chefs out into the future
in a chef's hat, and I get it.
In
it
a
was
chef's hat, yeah.
I actually wrote that down. I wrote the arbitrary dress code. What the f? And I was like, okay, so.
Well, for
why?
me, what I guess
there was a lot of whys.
I guess they had to throw them out. They couldn't give them helmets.
That's true.
I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, there was just for me. There was too many unanswered questions. One major sticking point that kept me from giving this movie a higher grade than I gave it
was it Tuna Santa.
No, not even, that's disgusting. That's gross. I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere on the screen. Is. They assumed that you knew how time travel worked, right? So they kind of
viewer.
Yeah, you as a viewer, as the person watching it, I feel like it wasn't explained enough. Other than that quick, it's a river. There's a raft here. There's a raft here, and we're just jumping between rafts. Yeah, when they said that, I was like, I'm not dumb, but that was the stupidest explanation ever.
Yeah. I kind of actually like the time travel rules. I like the fact that they could only send people in their 40s.
You know what? I want to time travel for real, so I want some real explanation.
Yeah. Okay. Call Doc Brown.
Exactly. He did it right.
And Dr.
You always need a DeLorean.
Timey-wimey. But yeah, I liked it how they did need they could only send young people back in time, and they could only send old people forward in time.
Yeah.
And I did like the fact that there were only 2 points in time, and then the points are always moving. Yeah. So it's not like they can go back at any other
and meet themselves
time.
Again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the big premise of this movie is that it's like Terminator, but they have to go back and fight aliens.
And Time Cop.
Yeah.
I just want to make a Time Cop nod. Come on.
There was Terminator. I don't know. I actually haven't seen Time Cop, but there were some aliens.
John Van Damme.
Some Prometheus stuff at the end.
Yeah, there was, man. That was very Prometheus-y.
Yeah, they definitely had the we'll get to that.
That was a hard nod to that one.
We'll get to that as it goes along. But hey, I always said it's J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, and he's ripped.
He's jacked.
He's going to throw a piano at you next.
And some dude referred to him as a conspiracy Santa. There were 2 Santas in this. Tuna Santa and Conspiracy Santa.
You know, I read that somewhere too, and I completely forgot that I saw
just noticed that.
Conspiracy Santa. Dude. His beard is glorious in this freaking movie, man.
I liked his response when he called him Conspiracy Santa.
I mean, I hate to agree with Conspiracy Santa, but...
Oh, that was good. Dude, where's the freaking... We need the... What is that thing? That boom.
Yeah,
it's there. It's there. Hey, want to hear an IKEA joke?
Tell me.
You have to build it yourself. You were so fired.
God, that was the worst. Oh,
No,
not even the right one.
It's called a rim shot.
There we go. A rim shot. Ba-dump. There we
Okay,
go.
anybody else got a quick one?
My brain got fried after that.
Hey, Jose, why is 6 afraid of 7?
I don't know.
Because 7, 8, 9. All right. You're just on probation.
I had a dad joke for you guys, but it's probably too much.
Let's hear it.
It's too much because I couldn't remember it.
Okay.
Very deadly.
It took me a minute to like, what? Oh!
That was a little deep for a dad joke.
Yeah. And the other thing, so he had during this movie, it's basically there's a tomorrow war, right?
Yeah.
They
For the people going into the tomorrow.
so they're being drafted to fight in the tomorrow war. I don't
Yes.
think society would ever go for that.
Absolutely not.
I think these people the Navy SEALs would just shoot these people and
Yeah.
we just deal with it.
Yeah,
Like
we're
when-
like, okay, I guess this is what's going to happen.
We don't know you guys. Bye.
Yeah, it was.
Come into
It
this
was
room,
so-
please.
Yeah, it was like, come here. We're going to put stuff on your arm.
Yeah.
It was-
we're
So this movie was like, you're watching it going, this is cool because Chris Pratt. And then you're like, this is freaking weird. This is like, who's going to say yes to this? Your phone goes off an alert. How many people take an Amber Alert seriously on their phone? You look at it and you're like, oh God, I was sleeping. This is the most annoying thing in the world.
I was driving though once, my Amber Alert went off and I saw the car in front of me.
How?
way.
No, it never happened.
I was gonna
Never happened to anybody.
Oh my God, you should have
Never.
played the lotto that same day, dude.
Never happened. I'm not that guy who checks every single car after an Amber Alert.
You're like, oh, that's nice. That's annoying.
Hey!
No, I look at it. I'm just like, I hope they find them.
They should have Amber Alert for cats.
Oh God.
I feel so bad.
I know. Wow, he's on one now. 1 foot out of probation.
Yeah. One thing I didn't like, the news exposition. Like, that's always like a cheat in movies for me. Like, let's have a whole entire scene of people
Oh, yeah.
reading the news and telling you
And they're
what's
just saying
happening.
the same thing over and over again.
Pretty much. It's always kind of stupid. I don't like it, but
Yeah,
they appear on a soccer field.
Yeah. So the movie starts off, that's how you're like, it didn't start off that way, but that's how you're like aware that something out of this world into some other world is happening. And it starts during a live soccer match that was happening on TV to our character, Chris Pratt's, whatever his name is, Dan Forrester. So that happens to him while he's watching soccer during was it a Christmas party where we
Yeah.
get to meet Tuna
Yeah.
Santa?
Yeah, he just learned that it was at a Christmas party watching a football game or American soccer game.
There you go.
I can't believe I said football for soccer.
Wow.
Anyway, but he, right before that, somehow he was called on Christmas Day to tell him that he didn't get a job.
Yeah.
But they didn't get a job because, although qualified, he didn't have enough private sector experience because he was in the Army. I actually think, having been in the job market, military experience trumps private experience. Year for year.
I believe that.
I've seen that happen because
The stress management is way better.
do you know how much harder it is to operate in the Army and any kind of job? In
Yeah.
agreements and stuff, like contracts that regular people.
Oh man, like I've gone on to
Aren't even
military
privy to.
bases like with my previous job where I have to show all this, data, like all these forms of identification, even though I'm driving a company vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I have an appointment for this company and I get up there, I'm like, I feel like I'm committing treason.
Yeah. Or
It's so stressful.
You're about to be shot.
Yeah. It's like, I'm just trying to do my job.
So Chris Pratt gets drafted, right,
Yes.
in this movie. He gets drafted after, I guess they already spent the military.
Yeah.
Right?
So the military spent, the whole world population is down to 500,000 worldwide.
Wait.
At this point.
If they spent the military, why can they?
I have no idea.
There's no military over 40.
So many whys, right?
Oh man,
So many whys.
plot hole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So many whys. So that happens. There's only 500,000 people, and somehow they're sending people every day, or every seventh day, to the future, because during the seventh day, the creatures that they're fighting somehow go into hibernation. So now we have Chris Pratt. He's in the middle of class teaching. He gets drafted. He gets that Amber Alert like message to his phone, and right after work, he
What if he didn't even have his phone?
Plot hole.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, so he goes right. So he goes right. Like after school, he goes to this military thing, and they tell him to sit in a chair. They start stripping his shirt off and stuff, and they tell him to put his arm in a hole.
Yeah, they're not telling him what.
He's just following these maniacal, like out of this world orders, man.
And I'm pretty sure by now people know the process. Like people have come back and written books about this. Probably.
Oh, for sure.
And they're like, oh, there's no pictures of what happened. I'm sure people know.
Yeah,
what the aliens
the
look
populace
like.
know.
Yeah, one thing I found annoying was after he jumps.
Yeah.
How there was the veteran who had already been there like 3 times.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, guys. And
he doesn't
the
tell
head and the belly's like the weak spot. It's like, why wouldn't they tell him that beforehand?
They did.
They did.
They did. There's like a orientation process.
Yeah, but they didn't tell him what they look like. So I mean, but here's the thing: neither did that guy. That guy didn't tell him. And you're
Dorian,
wondering,
I think.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Dorian.
Was
So
it
you're
Dorian?
wondering why
Which one?
these people are able to go back multiple times, or this guy is one major thing that happens when you put your arm in that hole is they read your entire life. So they don't explain how the heck they do this.
They just searched the internet for the name.
Yeah, so pretty much
They should have
yeah.
known
DNA
that before
testing.
then.
So they check you. Yeah, so
Lame.
exactly.
Plot hole.
Exactly. So many whys. My whys. So what happens is when Chris Pratt has his arm in this hole, it starts to stamp a thing onto his forearm, this bracelet or forearm thing looking like Buzz Lightyear, and they tell him,
It's a gauntlet.
yeah, it's a gauntlet without the hand, and so they tell him, like,
So
all right,
bracer?
you have 24 hours to get your personal orders or whatever, your personal affairs in order.
Mm-hmm.
And if you leave, we'll find you. And I don't know what they didn't explain. They just said
I
that
think-
your next of kin.
Well,
Well, you're
will go.
AWOL, pretty
Yeah.
much. Oh, yeah.
And if you
his
try to
next of
take
kin
off-
will go to jail instead of you.
Yeah, which is like, wouldn't you want them to go into the future instead of jail? Another thing.
Wait. So
Plot
what if
hole.
he
So
did
many.
go AWOL? What would happen with
He was
the
trying to
child.
go AWOL.
He was
No, I know, but
his-
the child.
His dad.
Because later on.
yeah, so
His dad's a professional AWOLer.
so his dad's a professional AWOLer.
Conspiracy Santa knew how to take the
bracelet.
the bracelet or gauntlet off.
We're actually gonna actually just pass the scene right now, but yeah, so he knows how to take it off, but him and Chris Pratt have this weird thing where they don't like each other.
They never explained why, though.
His dad abandoned them.
Yeah,
He just
he
ran
just said
off.
he was an
like
angry
a
man.
drunk.
And
Yeah.
he left.
Because of Nam.
Oh, okay.
It was
Yeah.
a Nam thing.
It wasn't food. It was nom.
Yeah.
Nom,
Nam,
nom, 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 nom,
nom,
nom.
N-A-M.
Put 'em,
Nom.
put 'em,
That Nam.
put 'em,
Just
put
a-
'em. There we go. Wow, look at the boners at nom. Anyway, so we're right there, and now we find out why these people are going. Or that guy is able to go back, or why he goes back multiple times to these creatures that are just killing humans left and right. Is that he found out he's gonna die because these things tell you when you're gonna die.
And I don't know why
The
they
gauntlets say when you're gonna die.
Why do they tell him they're going to die? Like why?
Bummer.
To me, if someone told me I was going to die in 10 years, I wouldn't go to war.
Yeah, but now you don't have a choice.
I'd rather be on the run. But they
and
obviously
and
they
the
know
thing
that,
is-
obviously they know there's a black market
yeah.
for these things. So to me, the risk of people not knowing, well, and then they're sending people out in chef's outfits.
And now we're looking too deep into this movie that was definitely written Hallmark style. It was written in a week, put out in 2.
yeah, they just had to cut the.
And they're like, who
we hate
can we
men
slap to this
subplot.
one? Yeah, Amazon's like, we have a lot of money. We need a major guy to grab this one to snag every other role. And hey, they got Chris Pratt because he was in an off season because they didn't know if, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was going to ever happen. So he was in this weird space where he had some free time in his filming schedule. And
Yeah.
that's what gave us this movie. I'm assuming that's all assumptions.
Yeah. So anyway, the gauntlets allow them to go into the future
For 7 days.
for 7 days, and then they have to come back. And then it automatically sends them back somehow.
No matter where they're at. He can be pooping and he just goes back, just poop streaks all
can
the way.
leave.
Well, I mean, it had a countdown, so you got to lay it.
You got to time it right.
Yeah, got to lay your pipe.
You can poop your
half an hour
pants
before
at
after.
home.
Yeah. I would time the poop halfway. So I leave half a
man.
turd in the future.
Well, you want to be falling when there's poop when it starts
That's
raining.
the worst. Anyway,
What-
so now he's in the future, right? And he's fighting these monsters.
Well, not only is he in the future, but they start raining
Oh yeah,
dudes
because
first.
of course it was a glitch when
Raining men.
they had just told him, hey, you guys are gonna land about 5 to 10 feet off the ground. Well, he lands hundreds of feet off the
Yeah,
ground.
everybody lands like a good like 10 stories.
It's raining humans.
Above a skyscraper. Like everybody.
And he gets lucky enough, to land in a pool.
Yeah, and everyone else just gets like pwned.
Yeah. Oh man, you see people just like bouncing off of the edge of a skyscraper. Kind of breaks your heart a little bit.
Yeah, I guess they had to thin the numbers for the movie.
Yeah, they couldn't afford it.
Yeah,
Amazon.
They couldn't have like an army of like unorganized people.
Oh man, they could have dead pixels though. I'm sure they could afford that.
Yeah, that was Netflix.
I know.
Netflix and Army of the Dead.
Yeah, Pixelgate.
Yeah, then they even started with that as a cold opening, people raining.
Yeah.
But anyway, he falls in the pool. He's got to go find. He's got to go find some people in a research facility in the middle of the downtown. Was
Like
Florida,
a nest
Tampa,
of
Florida?
these things. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would they put the researchers in Tampa, Florida, like that? It didn't make any
plot
sense.
hole thickens.
Yeah, plot hole.
So anyway, he's getting these orders from this mysterious lady, and he manages to make it out, obviously. And when he makes it out, he wakes up and comes to, and the movie tells us that now they're in the Dominican Republic. And he goes to talk to this lady.
The major general lady.
The major general lady, who's also the major scientist lady.
The colonel, yeah.
Colonel. She's the head. She wears many hats.
Yeah.
As she says. And who is it?
One of those hats is daughter.
Oh.
It's his daughter from the future, from the past.
Miri Forrester.
Yeah. So yeah, that whole like Terminator.
That was a definite like
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan twist.
I
was like, whoa.
I like that one better.
That
Hit
was
it again.
That was a hit.
Yeah, that was good.
So-
All right.
So that was that. And then she's all weird about like talking to her dad. She's like, oh, blah, blah, I don't want to talk about this. We're in the future.
Yeah, even though like ideally
We're gonna die anyways.
she should have stayed away from him if they didn't want to mess with the timeline.
Yeah.
I did like their Humvee rescue though before that.
That was so ridiculous.
I like the one of the guys
I
like,
was like, come on, Fast and Furious. You make it into every movie.
And I got messed up.
Yeah.
And then they went from the Dominican base
Yeah.
to their Waterworld base.
Yeah. With no explanation as to how the heck they got there. So now they're
They had a Waterworld base, and then they
Yeah.
had to catch like the
A
big
predator.
plot. Yeah, the big plot.
I mean,
Yeah,
literally.
an alien predator. They had the big plot point there was they had to catch a female alien predator because they designed a bioweapon.
yeah, that would destroy the males, but not the female.
No,
She could-
they already made that one.
yeah, no, I'm saying, but they caught her because the males were dying to this thing, but they couldn't synthesize one to kill the female because somehow she could work out of her system like a raging alcoholic that could function.
Yeah, pretty much. Like Jose with a bunch of hamburgers.
How he does it, no one knows.
I know how he does it. He's got two stomachs. Anyway.
Chipmunks. Like chipmunks.
Yeah.
Chipmunks?
He's got a gizzard.
Yeah.
Chipmunks.
But yeah, so that happens, and guess what, Marcus?
I don't know.
She's able to synthesize something.
Yeah, at the last minute, right before the predator aliens storm the water world.
Yeah, so the Waterworld, his time frame is up. He's like now all about his daughter and stuff.
Yeah, so then they have a way to kill. Like he's able to take it back with him to the past.
Yeah.
So he's taking a dookie or something, and then he goes back in the past, and then he's like, "Oh my god! Like I know how to kill the aliens." And then then he figures out how, like where the aliens came from. Right?
Well, he doesn't figure it out.
he's got Volcano Kid.
Yeah, so here's the craziest thing. So somehow like that guy that went back a few times, he has this tooth straight up like a raptor claw, but it's a claw, whatever it is, on his neck. Yeah. And then
It is a raptor
Yeah.
claw.
So he takes it to the scientist guy that they meet that's also part of this draft. So Dan Forrester's friend now. And he's like, "Oh, let me run a diagnostic on this thing." And he runs out and he finds somehow they came to this amazing conclusion.
Why does it have residue from China in it if it came from Russia?
And somehow this teenager,
Somehow two scientists, one from like the army, but like he went to scientist school.
Yeah.
The other one is an acting scientist
Yeah.
for the
Who left-
for the Amazon or Google of
Yeah.
science.
yeah, who
does
left,
not.
like a crazy paying gig as a professor to just get paid more
Yeah,
to like make soap.
he doesn't know any geologists.
Yeah.
Like, call Randy Marsh. Like, he's a geologist. Like,
dude.
I'm pretty sure I can go in the backyard. Is there a geologist? 3 people will raise their hands.
Yeah. And somehow, they can't figure this out, but
They got to call Volcano Kid.
Yeah, Chris Pratt somehow remembers that one of his most annoying, apparently yet talented students is obsessed with volcanoes, because of course that makes sense.
You think that was like the writer? Like, he just loved volcanoes? Like,
Or
his
he
whole
just
life?
wrote it and was like, holy crap, I have nothing to tie this back.
You know, I don't remember much from elementary school. Maybe hearing things here and there, but I used to know that they used to have science projects or science fairs, right?
Yeah, I did those.
One big rule was no volcanoes.
Really? I don't remember that.
Because everyone would just
Everybody
mix-
did it, and it was easy.
Yeah, they did it. It was easy and messy.
Yeah, that's true. It is messy.
The-
I don't remember what I did. Too many hits to the head skateboarding. There we go. Anyway. So then they have a hell of a time convincing the military or the government to go stop the pending
aliens
doom.
The pending doom before it happens, and they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
That's,
so guess who comes to the rescue?
But to me, that's an easier sell than sending our youth or our old people to war.
It seems more real.
Like, it almost seems like you could call Putin and have him do it.
He'd probably do it in a heartbeat. He's like, I want to take glory for this.
Yeah, exactly. But and then so they figure out that it's where it's at, and they bring
So now the guy that actually saves the day is Conspiracy Santa.
Conspiracy Santa's back.
AKA
I was so
Dan
glad that J.K.
Forster's
Simmons.
dad.
Yeah, I was so glad J.K. Simmons came back. I thought he would just be in that shot.
I was like, oh man, they wasted him.
Yeah, he was in the finale, so that was good.
So now we have this crazy Prometheus-like scene, which Marcus will describe to you.
Yeah, so they end up finding the alien ship, which is almost identical to the alien ship from Aliens and Prometheus.
It feels like the exact same set.
Yeah, so where they find even another space jockey, who's attached to the thing, and then they find the eggs in the egg chamber, but
then they realize that they are cattle. They're not even freaking like the smart aliens.
That was the thing that happened in Alien.
I know,
but I could have told them that, because there's no way that these dumb aliens are building anything. They didn't build a spaceship.
They're voracious. They just want to eat stuff and bang.
So yeah, very very alien-esque at the end, and they're able to eradicate the alien menace by blowing up the ship. That one dude we were talking about
with the whatchamacallit.
So the bioweapon.
Yeah, so they had the bioweapon that was brought back from the future, back to the future,
back to the past,
back to the past, and so they come back with that, and they're finally able to, after they blow up the ship, Chris Pratt stabs that alien thing in the mouth with the vial of the good stuff.
Yeah, after fighting him, he actually punched him.
Oh yeah, he punched it in the face.
He actually got into a fight with it and then told him to die.
Yeah, dude, he Sparta punched it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Meanwhile, everybody's getting murdered by this thing, and it's even larger than the males. And he punches it in the face.
Yeah, it was like
Chris Pratt style.
It was just like Aliens, just another queen. Well, anyway, so now I guess the future is not set now.
Yeah, so now the future is a wild card.
Yeah, so
there's no sacred timeline.
No sacred timeline, no variants, because everyone knows that. They actually drew. What happens is it's a river, right? So
it goes into 2 plot holes.
Yeah, so it's a river. So they start here, and then they start here, but they can't go back in time. They can't go.
I hope our white balance is good enough for you to see this.
I know this is a one take. this is our 1 minute here.
Let me see this. Let's see if we can see it on mine. You guys see that?
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Okay, so what happens is
time only flows in one direction. It's like a river. The jump link placed 2 rafts on that river, 30 years apart.
This is the future, right? And they can only go back and forth the same river of time. Oh yeah, I got to draw the river of time.
In the same.
They can only go back.
This is costing us.
Back out in the river of time. That's why they can only go back and forth. So eventually they end up here, but one day they'll end up here again.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. All right. So yeah, that's.
And I think with that explanation, we're going to give you guys our letter grades.
Yeah.
Marcus, can you start off the party here?
Well, even after this, I'm still going to give it a B+. Although it follows the formula of a lot of other sci-fi action epics, Tomorrow War manages to be just different enough to be its own movie. Chris Pratt is great in this, and there were some fun twists and turns. And to me, it's not a sequel. It's not like if I compare this to Black Widow, right? Like I've seen like 1,000. They got to
Yeah.
up the ante with these sequels, with these cinematic universes. This was its own movie, so I'm going to give it a recommendation of a B+.
Nice. So I will give it a B-. So the main sticking point for me was that B- is the plot holes. I had too many Ys. So I'm going to say what my little summary here was. It was nice seeing Pratt in something other than his MCU and Jurassic World roles. This movie felt like it was made for streaming only. It lacked the fit and finish of the blockbuster franchises. I was trying to read blockbuster and franchises as one word, and I said it wrong. So, fit and finish of the blockbuster franchises he's actually part of. From assuming the viewer's understanding of time travel to the lack of character development, this movie was only meant for home. So that's why I gave it a B-.
All right. Jose, what do you think?
A C+. I'm giving it.
This guy's
C+.
winging it.
No, like too many plot holes.
Come on,
Even
Mr. Thompson.
if like they sent the vile thing to the past, somehow they have way more now, and they weren't able to mass produce it, but they did somehow.
Okay.
And they killed the aliens.
Well, they mass produced it
But,
because it went
like-
to the past when the factory's working.
So your overall point, not your world.
Yeah,
hit the bullseye.
C+. It's a good if you want to see Chris Pratt in something else besides his goofy self. You can see that he can actually pull those roles off.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I
All
agree.
right. Well, that's our take on the Tomorrow War.
We got to finish it before Marcus's headphones slide off his head.
Are they? Oh shoot! It's a 1,000 degrees in here. All right.
Jose's devil dungeon is getting the heat up here.
for the gruesome twosome. We will catch you next time on Clubhouse Movies Podcast.